Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I wanted to share something different with you, a different approach for the holidays that are approaching rather quickly. Before I started in with all my hauls and decorating and all of those fun and exciting things, I also wanted to share something that's just been on my own heart and some things that I am planning to do to lessen the load and the stress that comes with Christmas. I know this is like a joyous time for a lot of people, but I'm also like hyper aware that this time is not always as joyful to a lot of people, probably more than we expect. And I am one of those people that does not love Christmas. I like it. I love decorating for Christmas, but it's really stressful on me. I have there's just lots of things that surround Christmas that make it hard for me. I think I've shared a little bit about that on here before, but I want to approach it a little bit different this year, and I thought I would share. I have 7 tips with you that I think would be helpful. And if anything, just really good reminders. So if you're interested, just keep watching. My first tip is I wrote them all down. I'm not usually like this organized for videos, but I have really pondered these for the last week, and I had to write them all down and get all my thoughts out because there's lots I want to say about them. So the first tip that I have is sit down and decide what is really important to you. You know, there's so many things surrounding Christmas. There's gifts, there's baking, there's parties, there's this and there's that. There's just a lot of things that is like expected, or not really expected, but sometimes we feel like it's expected. So think about those things that is really important to you, or what really brings you joy. Whether that's, you know, you are a baker and, you know, baking all the Christmas treats and stuff is really fun for you and brings you joy. That's going to be something that you are going to want to prioritize, right? Now, maybe like decorating is not your thing. Then that's not your thing. Don't make it a priority, and don't think because you see all these things around that you have to have them, because you don't. So really sit with this one and think about what is the most important to you. And there are some people, the most important thing to you might just be one thing, and I want you to lean into that one thing and just do whatever you can to prioritize that for yourself. Number 2 is kind of going along with prioritizing the things that are important to you, is to create a budget. And I know this sounds like obvious, right? Most people have a Christmas budget and they try to stick to it. But in your budget, I am encouraging you to be super specific. Okay? I mean, down to the very last detail of it. Because I don't know about you, but I set budgets. I've done it forever, and I'm always like, okay, well, I'm only going to spend $25 on teacher gifts this year. Okay, well, and usually I want to buy them a gift card for $25, right? But I don't ever think about, well, how am I going to present that to them? Am I just going to give them a card with the $25 in it, or how am I going to do that? And if you're a creative like me, you don't want to just give them a card and do that. But I don't add all of those extra things into my budget, and maybe some of you do. Like I said, these are just reminders, but be very specific, down to I want to tie that up with a ribbon. So you're gonna have to budget $2.50 in your budget for that ribbon. Like, just be as specific as you possibly can, because then it will just lessen, you know, you won't have all of these, because they add up really fast. And so now your budget's, you know, say $100, and on all of these little things, and you're close to 200 now because you haven't thought about all of those little tiny details. Tip number 3 is, before you decide that you want to buy a lot of things for Christmas, whether that's, you know, new baking ware, new home decor, new gift wrap, I can guarantee you that you all used all of that stuff last year, and you probably still have some in your tubs that you can use. And these are things I'm super guilty of, because I see really cute things and I'm like, oh, I'll just get them. But then like I did this at Halloween time. I had all of this like paper product for Halloween, and I kept seeing the cutest stuff, and I'm like, oh, I want that. That'd be so cute for Halloween, and blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, I'm gonna see what I have, because I remember last year I found some really cute pumpkin plates at Joann's, and I can't remember if I used them, but I'm gonna double check. And I had them all, and we used them all this year, and I didn't buy one single paper product. But those kinds of things just add up, even if it's just the littlest things, right? And you just save money that way. You save mental space that way. You bring in less, and that's kind of gonna go into another thing. But while we're on this number 3, and kind of going along with number 2 is creating a budget. Once you pull everything out, you can see what you have, and there might be some things that you just aren't in love with this year. So you can try and sell it on Facebook Marketplace, and use that money to buy something that you do like, and then you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You don't need to create a budget because you already have the money from something before, you know, you're getting rid of. And number 2 goes along with part of my going through with what you have, is if you're bringing something new in, you need to get rid of one thing. You need to get rid of something out of those bins, because like the idea in my mind, this is when I'm saying I'm trying so hard to be more simple and more thoughtful about things, is I don't want to buy any more tubs. I want to use what I have. And so I need to get rid of something, because I've got to fit this new thing in there, and that old thing is taking up space. And I'm not doing that. And then what you do have, maybe you could repurpose in a way that you could use it this year. So just an example, I will be sharing this with you because I'm really excited about it, because I'm really trying to use what I have, but I'm going with a whole different theme. And instead of going out and buying a bunch of stuff, which I say all this to say in my next video, I wanted to share a haul, but the more I sat down to do the haul video, I just felt like a pull in my heart that I needed to share like this video first. So I'm gonna film them both in one day, so I might be wearing the same thing, but I hope you'll forgive me for that. Anyway, let's move on to number 4, and that is to consume less. And I mean on all levels of life. Consume less social media, especially during this time, especially because you've heard it before, that comparison is the thief of joy, and it 100% is. And I find myself really around this time thinking, gosh, you know, people are showing all these things that they're getting for their kids, or, you know, they're buying all of this new home decor, and it's like, well, if only I could do that, my house would be so cute and pretty. And, or, you know, if I could be the best mom ever if I bought my kids that too. And those things aren't in my budget, so I can't do that. And so consume less, just all things, you know, less is more. And with this consume less, I wanted to just throw this, it's kind of like a little extra tip, but when you're buying gifts, I sometimes find myself just buying things to buy them, to give them, right? Where there's sometimes like, it seems so silly to me to buy something and then that person buy me something, and I know that we were just buying something to buy something, you know? And sometimes I would just rather like hug that person and tell them how much I care about them, and them telling me that would be the ultimate gift, right? So sometimes I don't want to, like, I almost like, it seems silly to me, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it just seems silly to buy something. I mean, if you have a good thoughtful gift that you know that that person is going to absolutely adore and love, then by all means do that. But if you're just buying something to have a gift, I promise you, even like the most thoughtful little note, letter, card, something is going to go a heck of a long more way than if you just buy something that that person is either going to throw out, or it's going to just sit in their closet or wherever for years to come, and they're never going to use it. So consume less is number 4. Number 5, and I am totally saying this to myself, that during this season especially, but I need to do this in like all areas of life, is to say no. It's okay to say no. Maybe this season of life you don't have the time, energy, finances, whatever it may be, to be super involved in your kids' school and doing all the Christmas parties and all of that. Just say no. I have learned it's really hard to say no, but I have given up that part of momhood. I just don't have time for it now that I have a full-time job. And there's also things that I really need to say no to that I haven't yet. And they're hard things to say no to because they are things that I enjoy. But just in this really busy season of life, my focus has to be on number 1, those things that really mean the most to me. So if you can't go to a Christmas party, or you don't want to, or you don't have the energy to, or it's just making you feel stressed, it's okay. It's okay not to go, and it's okay to say no, and just be like, hey, thank you so much for your invite, but this year I need to prioritize these other things right now. And I can guarantee you most people are going to be understanding of that. Number 6, be intentional with your time, your money, your heart, especially during this time. Yeah, there are things that really, really matter to me, and like they're on my mind a lot, and for some reason I'm not intentional about them. I think, yeah, I'm gonna do that, yeah, I want to do that, or and then time just goes by and I'm like, gosh, why didn't I do that? It was on my heart for a reason. Why didn't I do that? So be intentional. I am very intentional with my gift giving, with my kids, with my family. I want to buy things for them. You know, I kind of do the something they want, something they need, and all that kind of stuff. We don't go crazy for Christmas. I never have, and I never will. And I think that's been helpful for me, and it's also helpful for my kids to understand that, you know, this is how we do it. And the expectation is that there's no expectation of, well, how come I didn't get an Xbox for Christmas? Well, those aren't things that we buy for Christmas. Those are things that we save for, and we are intentional with our money. Like, if you want that kind of thing, let's work for it, let's save up for it, and you will appreciate it way more than if you get it for Christmas, I can guarantee you. So that's not to say I don't buy things that my kids want for Christmas, because I do. But video games are not on our list. Now, we buy a lot of sporting equipment, and that might not be your family's thing, but we do, and they're always expensive items. And so with that, I know that everything that we buy is intentional. It's definitely going to get used, and it's definitely going to be worth our money. So just be intentional. Be intentional with, you know, just how you, especially intentional with yourself and your heart. And I think once you like practice that, lots of other things fall into place. So that's number 6. And my biggest one, number 7, is let go of expectation. Okay. This has been a huge thing for me. And 2 years ago, I was working with a life coach, and she was instrumental in helping me to really work on this in my life. Expectations. I am one of those kinds of people that hold myself to a really high expectation. I hold my kids to a high expectation. I hold my husband to a high expectation. And what happens is I have high expectations and I'm let down a lot. And then that creates a lot of problems in life, in marriages, in families. And so something I'm working on, I'm still working on it, but I feel like the last couple of years I've been really good about letting go of expectations. Just knowing that because I am not doing all these fun expected things, or what society is telling me that I need to do, that I am not a bad mom. I'm not taking my kids to all these fun holiday things. We're not doing all these, like, I don't do Elf on the Shelf. All these expectations, right? It's just that comes with the territory of being a mom and being, just being a mom, really. What I'm trying to say here. And so once you can do that, there's so much freedom in just being present instead of being like weighed down by the expectation of, oh my gosh, I didn't do gingerbread houses with my kids this year. I'm such a bad mom. And I promise you, last year, I am like the queen of gingerbread houses. I love it. I have a big party. I invite all my family over. And last year, I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. I couldn't do it. I didn't have time to do it. It was just all of the things. And in my mind, at the beginning of the season, I was like, yes, we're going to do that. Yes, we're going to do that. And then it just got to be the middle of the season. And I'm like, I don't have it. I don't have it in me anymore. So we're not doing it this year. And well, I mean, I was sad about it for a minute, but I was also so relieved that I did not have to put it together. But this year, I want to make that a priority. That's on my number 1. What's important to me is that party. And it may look different this year. I have teenage kids, and they're really loving like having their friends over, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe this year I'll just make it smaller, and we can just do it with the teenagers, because honestly they enjoy it more than the adults do anyway. And well, maybe we'll just do it different this year. Like, there's just things that I just have the expectation that if I don't do them, you know, if I don't do the Christmas jammies, I'm a bad mom. If I don't, like, all of these things, and they all add up, right? Money, time, and energy. And I am trying really hard to be mindful and intentional of all of those things. And I just encourage you guys to do that. So if that's all you take away from this video today, I know it's completely different than what I normally film, and I'll be back to my home decor because I'm really excited. And I just, my prayer and is that those that have like hard, like, don't love this time of year and don't find the joy that a lot of other people do, just know you're not alone. I can share all these all day, but I still feel that way. And this stems back to when I was a child, so this isn't anything. And you know, there are people going through some really, really hard things right now, and I haven't shared it on I kind of shared it on Instagram, but I'm one of those. And when I'm ready to talk about it, I will talk about it. But right now, my world has been turned upside down, and I and just getting through day by day. And so you just never know what people are going through, and they could be showing up here on Instagram or social media every single day, you know, with a smile on their face, because that's what we do. And I'm gonna be okay. My family's okay. I have lots to be grateful for, and just things are hard, and I'm in a season of really hard things and a really busy season also. So most of this was just a reminder to myself, but I thought it would be helpful to somebody else. So let's wrap this up, and I'm sending you all the biggest hug ever. I appreciate you being here, but let's do what we can to feel joy this season, and I will be back with my next video, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.